sitting with your truth, shedding relationships with people that don't respect you or don't treat you with the kind of high regard that you're deserving. So that's really important. I think, though, that relationships have brought you down a bit, made you feel depressed, or kind of taken away some of your fire or some of your air or whatever, however you want to look at that. Maybe kicked you in the gut and flatlined your breath. So I do see that this has been an ongoing situation for about a year. So I want to say this to that. You've got this, okay? You've got this. Oh, right on. So I know, though, that Gemini's had a tough year. So all I can say is there will be many changes in Gemini's relationships. Many. It has been brewing for some time. Allow the changes, allow the new beginnings, allow the leaps of faith. There's not much else you can do. You might as well take it. You might as well do it, okay? So if you take that leap of faith and you believe in Creator and you believe in the opportunities that are coming, like I said, things are cleared away from our life so that we can actually move in the direction we're meant to move. So I think this has been happening for Gemini because you're likely held on to a relationship that wasn't speaking to your soul. I'm going to just change this music a little bit. Some of this is not what I want to hear. Give me a second, sorry.
It can also impact your heart. 1 in 2 people with type 2 diabetes die due to heart disease. Discover what you can do to help reduce.
This is what I want to hear. So yeah, I think that Gemini, you're going to have to really listen to yourself, listen to your soul. And although you may have been going through some difficult times, it's really here to help you shape the future year. So I don't think your 2023 is going to be anywhere near what you've experienced in 22 or 21. So good things, I think, are going to be made possible for those Geminis that are shifting, okay? You may have more arguments in this last year than you've had in a long time, but it's partially because you've tolerated a lot. You settled, you didn't say what's on your mind, you bit your tongue, you rolled your eyes, those kinds of things. No, this wasn't expected. This was not, you are Mercury born Zodiac sign. You need to communicate, you need to talk, and you need to have people in your relationships around you that have the interest in communicating properly with you. If you do not have a proper communicator in your sphere, like in your close relationships, and you don't speak up, it will affect you and it will put you in a deficit. So you really got to speak up, and this has been the lesson over the last year, because what's happening is the Gemini's holding it in and then bursting. So this is sort of like letting the volcano flow. I say let it out in little puffs, and that likely be what the Gemini has learned, is to let it out in little puffs, and instead of having this big explosion of a volcanic energy. Okay, so yeah, Gemini, you may have a couple of situations, though, that'll come up over the month of December that may stir up that default button where you want to, whack somebody. Although I've got to say, I think you're tired, but it doesn't take much to stir you up these days. So that's the way it goes. Sometimes we got to go through things. Like I said, there will be more action. If you've been kind of flatlining in certain areas, I'm going to say some more action is going to come to you in the next month. You might be a little overwhelmed with some of it, but there will be another stream of energy that you can flow to that will be a little more peaceful and a little more, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when a partnership breaks up and they're trying to figure out how to co-parent, that type of a thing, and they're not jiving. So there's that kind of energy. I think it's going to be coming to actually all the Mercury born. So even Virgo may experience this type of thing. We'll talk about that later. But this is because there is pent up conversations that did not happen, didn't transpire, and now they're kind of unraveling. And the result of not communicating properly is unraveling. So this may take a little bit of time to adjust, and December will be a month of that, sorry to say. As far as work will require you to stay focused, and although you may use your workplace energy to distract yourself from the other things of your relationship energies that aren't filling your soul. But you've got the Magician card, which is in your relationship place. So I'm going to say those people who are Gemini in relationships who made it through a difficult time, let's just say they made it through the difficult time and they're still together, that relationship has a lot of stamina and can possibly manage. So you're either going to go through some serious problems. You broke up already, and then you're going to be stuck in a workplace that you're not really super happy with, but you do it, and you focus on it because of the distraction, you need it. Or you're in a decent relationship with someone because you got through a difficult time, and the workplace is interfering with your ability to do what you want with that partner. So it's that type of thing. So those relationships that have ended, that's your story, like I just said. And if you're still in a relationship, that's the alternative. It's one or the other. Either way, I do see that there is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries person, woman, who is likely in your life. And maybe this is a sister, maybe it is a dear friend, someone like that. There may, or someone that you thought was a good friend, that type of thing. There will be an issue that comes up where you don't think they have been very kind or giving, or something like that, when normally they are. So that might be a thing that comes up that you'll have to look at. And it could be an opportunity for you, though, Gemini, to speak your truth. Instead of holding back and waiting for that volcanic eruption, allow yourself to communicate with your dear friends. If they say something or do something that doesn't fit your soul, say something. Practice with them. It's a safe relationship to do that in. All right? As far as if you're in that partnership I was telling you about, I do see you getting involved in some of the family of that partner, and things being, I like what I see there, because it's kind of like common ground. It's like what do you call that, super content energy, because it's comforting, it's stable, it's tradition, that kind of thing. And so no changes there, and that's a good thing. Let's see here. For those of you that, remember I said about the broken relationships, there still may be some contact with the ex's partners, families, uncles, aunts, sisters, brothers, parents, grandparents, that type of thing. There still may be some opportunity for the children to participate in that, and then you're going to have to tolerate, zip your lip, and get through it, okay? That's what I see there. And just so, I just want to be really clear about something. Some of the problems in your relationships, and the one that has been broken, has to do with behavior and conduct with young people, with youth, or with someone's heart, or with someone who's vulnerable. And I will say this, you may realize or find out that the partner is sick, mentally maybe, which may explain some of the bad behavior, all right, or some of the situations that have come up. All right. The other thing I want to point out is if there is someone in your family who you're concerned about in terms of their health, give them a little kick in the butt. That should help them be a little more focused about getting better. Make sure people know that you want them there. There will likely be also, some of you will probably, remember I was saying about being distracted in your workplace, or maybe doing a job you don't really feel super great about. I can tell you that you'll be doing some brewing here about what not to do. You don't want to continue on in this type of workplace. So there will be a change there. Maybe you'll be moonlighting. Maybe you'll be looking for another job. Maybe you'll be trying to create another job. So this will be a good thing for you as far as I'm concerned, because it looks like you're trying to take your power back and put yourself in a good leadership position. So yeah, I like you taking your power back. And so all I can say is I think December is going to be a month of retribution and restructuring and rewinding, reevaluating. It's almost like, it's literally like Mercury took a retrograde on you. Actually, it might be coming up Oh my goodness, I think it may be. I think you might be in a Mercury retrograde.